Hello everybody, welcome to Oxford News This Week. I'm Terry Stiles with my co-host Jim Hughes.
And I'm with Terry Stiles.
This week. Yay! And in this week's news, the results from the August 6th primary election, a $35 million medical facility opens in Oxford and a hero honored with the Sheriff's Citizen Citation. Sit back and stay tuned because Oxford News begins right now. The August 6th primary election voting period has come and gone, and the unofficial results are in for all races in the state. Vote totals come from the unofficial election results from Oakland County Clerk Register of Deeds Election Division. At the local level, the millage on the ballots in Oxford and Edison townships were all approved. In Oxford, police operating taxes will increase for residents starting in December of 2025 to boost funding for the Oakland County Sheriff's Office. In Edison Township, residents will see additional taxes go towards fire department improvements and ambulance millage and the township library. Township officials in Oxford faced little competition. The supervisor, clerk, and treasurer were all running unopposed in the primary and will move to be unopposed in the general election later this year. There were 4 seats up for election in the race for township trustees, and they were taken by incumbents Rod Charles, Catherine Colvin, and new candidates Dave Wagner and Jeffrey Ontw. They will run unopposed in the general election. Finally, Edison Township saw the supervisor and treasurer's seats open on the ballot. Voters selected incumbent Bruce Pearson as the supervisor and Michael McDonald as the treasurer, and you might know him as the president of the Village Council of Leonard. Congratulations, everyone. Jim?
And a well-awaited and welcome to the new $35 million McLaren Oakland Oxford campus medical facility opened its doors to patients for the first time this past week. According to the McLaren Oakland, after years of planning construction, patients now have access to a whole range of services. The 54,000 square foot building includes physical therapy, primary care, cardiac rehab, and outpatient medical lab, and more. A freestanding emergency department will open in the early fall to offer 24/7 service from highly trained emergency and trauma staff. Emergency Director Dr. Dan Wall said the new facility will bring cutting-edge health care to the community and allow patients to receive world-class treatment whether they're walk-in or arrive via EMS. Almost 80,000 hours of on-site time went on to constructing the new McLaren Oakland Oxford facility. Local first responders will benefit from this proximity of the emergency department, allowing them to easily transport patients with injuries that meet medical protocols. The old McLaren building will soon be torn down to make space for a larger parking facility. The new multi-dimensional medical facility has thrilled medical staff and township administrators and first responders alike. The multiple officials commenting that the community has needed a facility like this, the new McLaren campus, for a long time, and that it is an investment in Oxford. Terry.
The Downtown Development Authority is attempting to select members for a 501c3 board to gain nonprofit status, the Oxford Leader reported. The DDA Executive Director Kelly Westbrook told the Leader that the 501c3 status would allow Oxford to apply for additional grants, be used for operational costs, and more. Westbrook says the DDA's funds are currently pre-locked because it is funded by tax capture. The Oxford Downtown Development Authority Board of Directors is expected to appoint 3 candidates to form the nonprofit board this month. At a previous board meeting, Vice President Grace Carey said the board would start with maybe 5 members, creating an executive board and a liaison member to the DDA. Westbrook said in June that Carey was going to be the 501c3's president, but Carey has since resigned due to unexpected circumstances. Currently, the board of directors is accepting applications to the 501c3 board membership, aiming to make appointments by next month. Applications have been open since July, yet only 3 candidates are currently vying for the 5 open seats. Those interested in learning more about the position can email dda@theoxfordvillage.org. Jim?
And Cook's Farm Dairy is moving on up. Earlier this month, the only dairy farm in Oakland County celebrated the grand opening of the brand new store, the ice cream shop off Seymour Lake Road in Brandon Township. The family-owned and operated business has produced dairy products since back in 1933. Wow. The current owner is the Quentin Cook, who represents the 4th generation of Cook family. The most recent business expansion was celebrated by the Clarkston Area Chamber of Commerce. Oakland County Commissioner Bob Hoffman and more community members. The opening festivities spanned 3 days, Friday through the weekend, and included live musical performances, ice cream produced with milk from the farm and the cows there. Most recently used can only be ordered through a drive-through system right now, but now guests have a large indoor dining space to spread out and enjoy. Seating is available at the bar, several tables, and upstairs, downstairs, and outside, while a wide variety of flavors can be ordered from the counter. Well, it seems like the cows have finally come home. They were moving. Love that, Carrie.
My very favorite ice cream in the whole world. So 5 men accused of being part of an international ring of burglaries targeting Oakland County homes have been charged. The group was arrested, charged, and held on a $1 million bond each for home invasions in Troy last week. The high bond, which Click on Detroit reported is usually reserved for violent offenses, shows that the group is being investigated for many more home invasions. On the day of the arrest, the homeowner alerted police that intruders were inside the house after they triggered a home security system notification. Officers quickly converged on the area, a street of houses valued at around $400,000, and fanned out to track the suspects. All 5 defendants have been charged with second-degree home invasion, a charge that warrants up to 15 years in prison. According to Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald, theft rings have become a major contributor to crime in the community. Oakland County Sheriff Mike Bouchard said that Troy police arrested was huge. It comes after months of Bouchard sounding the alarm of the team of burglars hitting homes in the county. Jim.
A Detroit man drowned in Oakland County Lake after actually saving his own coworker and has been posthumously honored by the Sheriff's Citizen Citation Award. 20-year-old Marcellus Quinton Carter passed away late last month when he assisted 2 members of a moving crew who was working with getting back to a boat. The group is taking a break with the owner to cool off with a cool swim when multiple crew members struggled to stay afloat. Carter helped one coworker back into the boat and then re-entered the water to save another. Sadly, Carter was exhausted, according to the witness, and he went underwater himself and was lost despite attempts to save him. After more than 13 hours of searching, he was found last week. Carter was posthumously honored for his courageous actions by Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard. Bouchard presented the citizen citation to Darlene Carter, his mother, at the sheriff's office headquarters in Pontiac. Bouchard said that while in fact that Carter gave his life to save his coworker, many diminish the family pain. They don't want to diminish the family pain. He hopes it may give a measure of solace and a meaning to such an incredible sacrifice. Terry.
Sad news. The Michigan Department of Transportation wants your input on a 5-year transportation program. The annual 5-year transportation program outlines how Michigan will invest in transportation over the next 5 years, including projects for roads, bridges, public transport, rail, and aviation. The 5-year transportation program aims to showcase MDOT's planned investments as early in the preparation process as possible. According to MDOT website, an early program supports successful program delivery, encourages local coordination, and guarantees opportunities for meaningful public engagement. Now through September 3rd, the public is invited to provide input on the 5-year transportation program document draft. The Michigan Department of Transportation provides spaces to comment in many different ways. Residents can visit an interactive map and provide a comment on a specific project, allowing them to visualize what areas matter most to them. Comments can also be left on the general comment form or be sent by email or traditional mail. For more information, visit michigan.gov/MDOT. And be nice, please.
In our Behind the Lens segment this week, a little bit different, fighting invasive phragmites. The Road Commission for the Oakland County is continuing to work with the Oakland County Cooperative Invasive Species Management Area Organization to address invasive species growing along the roads throughout the county. Beginning this month and running through October, state licensed contractors will apply herbicide to knotweed and phragmites along the RCOC roadways. This picture is of a phragmite, what they look like, and we hope to get rid of them, which grows in wet areas and can reach heights of 15 feet, leading to safety and environmental problems. Quite interesting there.
Yeah, well, you know, they thought they had it licked for a while, and they're popping up again. They're pretty. They came in as a ornamental from, I think, Asia, somewhere in Asia, but they definitely are taking over the cattails, which are natural to Michigan, and the phragmites are not.
Oh, did I say, phragmites?
Phragmites.
I said it wrong.
It's okay.
We want them gone, okay?
Yes, get rid of them.
Coming up in our next segment, Dave Kenny will have something with Auto Talk. I know I got sports. Terry's last story today. The title of it, Strike a Pause. Dave Kenny's up next. Stay there. You're watching Oxford News This Week.
Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from Automotive News. In our first story, Toyota's highly regarded rally racing hot hatch, the GR Corolla, has been re-engineered with a new option for the 2025 model year that promises to broaden its appeal to a much wider audience, an automatic transmission. The 6-speed manual transmission on the GR Corolla launched in 2023 will still come standard. In addition, the 2025 model will also offer an optional 8-speed gearbox developed by in-house performance group Gazoo Racing that Toyota calls a direct automatic transmission with paddle shifters. When it comes to the U.S. dealerships this winter, the re-engineered 2025 GR Corolla will feature increased torque, an enhanced suspension, a new top trim level, and a redesigned front bumper to improve cooling and aerodynamics. Still equipped with a 1.6-liter 3-cylinder turbocharged engine producing 300 horsepower, the hot hatch has been retuned to boost engine torque to 295 pound-feet of torque from 273. Vehicles with the 8-speed automatic will come standard with an automatic transmission fluid cooler to better control heat and improve performance, while a sub-radiator is a factory-installed option on the premium grade and standard on the new Premium Plus grade, Toyota said. To improve on-track handling, engineers added rebound springs to the GR Corolla's front and rear suspension and improved the rear coils and stabilizers to better keep its wheels on the road during dynamic cornering. The hot hatch will also feature launch control on models with an automatic transmission, the brand said. Available in Core, Premium, and New Premium Plus trim levels, the re-engineered 2025 GR Corolla will come standard with Toyota's Safety Sense 3.0, the brand's latest suite of safety and driver assistant technology. It will also be equipped with the Toyota Audio Multimedia System on an 8-inch touchscreen. Consumers who purchase a 2025 GR Corolla will receive a free 1-year membership in the National Auto Sport Association, including a 1-day high-performance driving event and discounted admission to association-sponsored activities, the automaker said. Pricing for the 2025 GR Corolla was not announced. In our next story, a recall. Hyundai is recalling almost 50,000 gasoline and hybrid midsize crossovers in the U.S. because of a main floor wiring harness issue that could lead to faulty airbag deployment. The electrical system might rub against the passenger side second row bench seat assembly and become damaged. This could trigger the airbag warning light and cause airbags to deploy unintentionally or not at all, according to Hyundai documents filed with NHTSA. The recall affects certain 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe and Santa Fe hydrogen models. The company is also recalling 3,658 vehicles produced for sale in Canada, according to a Hyundai company spokesperson. Hyundai said July 26 that the faulty airbag deployment could increase the risk of injury to vehicle occupants. There is no confirmed crashes or injuries related to this condition in the U.S. or Canada, the Hyundai spokesman told Automotive News. Hyundai said owners should take their vehicles to a Hyundai dealership for inspection. The dealership will secure the wire harness with a new clip to prevent interference with the seat folding mechanism. If the harness is damaged, it will be replaced at no cost to the owners. Dealers were notified in July, and owners will be contacted by September. The parts supplier is Kyungshin Lear, based in Montgomery, Alabama. According to the NHTSA filing, no other Hyundai or Genesis vehicles use the recall component. Well, that's it for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television.
Back with you on Oxford News this week with sports. Again, we're getting ready for a full array of fall sports, but right now baseball players from both Oxford, Lake Orion, and Clarkston competing together on the same field finished the season in the 2024 Global World Series 13U AA champions. The tournament competition brought together teams from across Michigan, Ohio, and Illinois to compete in Canton in late July. The local players made up by the Motor City Hit Dogs, Yates team, and the Hit Dogs faced off against players from Novi, Heat Black, 13U, and took championships within a walk-off hit, finishing the tournament with a 6-0 record. The game was tied at 14 in the bottom of the 8th when Tommy Kelly hit a double banging one into the one home run to win. To win that game, the Hit Dogs finished their season with a 15-4-1 record. Also, fall sports coming up, like we just mentioned. Monday, with the start of the summer practice season, all fall athletes, you must have registered and submitted a new physical to participate in this year's fall sports. Many sports completed tryouts in camps and conditionings before the state, which also marks the start of practice for the cross country, football, girls swim and dive, and however, tryouts are still yet to come for some sports, including volleyball, boys tennis, boys soccer, and girls basketball at the middle school level. As sports season gets underway, look out for live streams and coverage from your TV station right here and favorite teams right here on OCTV. And once again, just remember to get that physical before you even apply to be on any of the sports teams. That's going to wrap it up in sports. We are so looking forward to fall sports. Coming up, Terry Stiles will have the last story, and Dave Kenny has another segment. This is Oxford News This Week.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from New Scientist. If astronauts on the moon are to avoid harmful radiation, long-term lunar bases will need to be shielded by 2 to 3 meters of regolith, the moon's surface layer of rock and dust. Jingnan Guo and Mikhail Dobindin at the University of Science and Technology in China in Hefei have analyzed how the thickness of a lunar base's shielding would affect radiation doses for people living on the moon. Their study includes using the lunar soil as a shield, as well as using additional artificial shielding. Guo says there are 2 main kinds of radiation that pose a danger to astronauts: omnipresent background levels of galactic cosmic rays, which pose a long-term cancer-causing risk, and solar energetic particles, SEPs, associated with sporadic solar eruptions. These SEPs can lead to more acute symptoms of radiation exposure, such as skin injury and damage to areas involved in generating cells and platelets for the blood, which include bone marrow and lymphatic tissues. In severe cases, exposure to SEPs could lead to death. Radiation on the moon is not constant, says Guo. For short stays on the moon, without encountering intensive SEPs, the radiation effect should be small. But if a solar eruption happens, the danger could be huge. At the end of the Apollo program, for example, Apollo 16 landed astronauts on the moon for a few days in April of 1972. This was followed by Apollo 17 in December that year. In between, there was a huge radiation storm. There was such a big SEP event that happened in between in September that could have caused possible death to astronauts on the moon if they had been there unprotected, says Guo. The study also found that too little regolith shielding could be worse than none, because lunar soils scatter radiation, generating secondary particles of different types, which can include neutrons. This secondary radiation peaks at lunar surface depths about 0.5 meter, but decreases rapidly at greater depth. Neutrons have a large biological effect, as they can efficiently interact with the human body to cause radiation effects in internal organs, says Guo. They can contribute to more than 90% of the total effective radiation when shielding is around 50 centimeters, says Guo. The study found that bases at a depth of 3 meters can safely accommodate the same crew for more than 20 years without them exceeding lifetime and annual radiation limits set by space agencies. NASA and the Russian Space Agency imposed different career radiation dose limits, 600 millisieverts and 1,000 millisieverts respectively, on their astronauts. Both agencies, that is, can impose annual radiation exposure limits also. Natural background radiation exposure on Earth, for instance, amounts to about 2.4 millisieverts a year. If the lunar stay for a single crew is no more than a few months, 2 meters of shielding should be enough, says Guo. Crew members could also be frequently rotated back to Earth to avoid exceeding lifetime and annual radiation health limits, she says. The most practical way to reduce radiation exposures would be to use natural shielding for bases by building them in existing caves or lava tubes, or constructing habitats beneath the surface, she says. Better predictions of solar storms will also be important, she says, to keep astronauts safe when they venture outside the base for activities on the surface. Got to be careful. Well, that's it for this edition of Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny.
And in our last story this week, strike a pause. The Friends of the Oxford Public Library recently announced the top 3 finishers of their Cute Pet Contest. The contest is one of multiple ways the nonprofit Friends raise money for the library to purchase items on the library's wish list and enhance its programs. The money goes to the wish list items, easy for me to say, beyond the millage and budget, bringing even more improvements for patrons. 26 pets were entered into the contest, and each entry cost $5. Library guests could cast votes on who they thought had the cutest pet. In the end, Samson the cat earned the most votes to finish in first place. Lexi the dog took second, and Oreo the hamster earned third. Voting continued for 2 weeks and ended with 758 total ballots cast. Congratulations to Samson and Tammy Matthews, his owner, on the perfect win. How cool.
Man, not bad
That's
enough.
pretty
Good stuff.
darn cool.
Congratulations on
Wow,
that.
that's a lot of votes cast.
That is a lot of votes for the library. And you know what? And she wouldn't do it herself, and I had to actually steal this off the wall here at our studio. She was already in the studio, so this is like kind of coming to a surprise. We are going to skip the segment called "What is Terry listening to in the car?" because she's listening to nothing right now.
Not right now.
And we found this on the wall, and she just happened to put it up, and now one to toot her own horn. And you do have to tell the community what that's all about.
Okay, so it is a nationwide registry of Women of Distinction Honors Edition
Only award.
for 2024.
Yeah.
And that means my name will go into, and it says for she had the will, believed in herself, and made history. And what this is for, it's actually a networking
Right.
registry, and it goes into major libraries throughout the United States,
okay.
as well as the Library of Congress. So I'm kind of honored about that. When they did the interview with me, they said that someone either nominated me and
Right,
put
right.
my name in, or they got it from the Chamber of Commerce, where they get a lot of people's
okay.
names that they can network. I guess it's because I'm manager of a television station. I don't know.
Could be, could
She,
be.
the woman that I spoke to,
You've held
figured
public
that's
office
what
in
it
the
was.
community as well.
Yep. Yeah. So quite an honor. Being in this community for as long as I have
Right.
makes me proud to represent this community.
Of course.
And now I'm getting teary-eyed, so I'm done.
She gets emotional. I knew that would happen. That's
I know.
why I had to sneak it off the wall.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I mean, now in the community, I mean, can you remember all the offices that you've held in this?
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, what did you have?
So I started out on a road committee because I lived on Gillespie.
Okay.
Everybody says I pronounce that with an extra
Okay.
syllable. And then I went to the Planning Commission, the Village Council,
Okay.
DDA.
You were on the
I
Cable
was
Commission
on
for a
our
while.
board,
Yeah.
right? Parade Committee.
Parade committee?
There's now Chamber of Commerce.
Let's see, we said that together.
Yeah, so I
And the
believe in
manager
the
of the TV,
community.
and you're manager of the
Manager
TV?
of the television station. I've been here 25 years.
Right.
In one form or another. I started out as an intern,
Right.
basically under you.
Right.
And then volunteer, and then on the board, and then volunteer again, and then employee, and employee again. So
Well,
I believe in this
congratulations on
community
Congratulations on
wholeheartedly.
this award.
Thank
and
you.
She celebrated her 44th birthday again this past week. Celebrated number 44.
Absolutely. And I want to say tomorrow, which would be Saturday,
Yeah.
is Jim's birthday. Happy birthday, Jim.
64.
I'm not going to sing
64,
it.
64.
44 again.
Yeah, there you go.
So we had a lot of birthdays in
We gotta
the
say happy
past
birthday
week.
to Joe Calhoun, Kyle Snage, former employee here and now
Elgin
living up
Nichols,
north.
yeah.
Elgin
Elgin,
Nichols. So yeah, a
uh-huh.
lot of August birthdays.
And also Alexis.
Alexis,
was
who's
also-
gone on to she's worked at a lot of TV stations, radio stations, and
She has.
now if you have a problem with your water in Detroit, give her a call. That's all I can say, okay?
Yeah.
Well, I think we did
Celebration.
this one in. Let's say goodbye for this week. And
Okay.
once again, congratulating Terry on her birthday weekend, that a well-deserved
you.
award.
Thank
OCTV
you.
can be viewed on Spectrum Charter Channel 191 and also on Channel 99 on the ATT Uver system. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Amazon Fire Stick, and Roku. Those apps all work. If you have a show idea, would like to volunteer at our little TV station here, OCTV, give our office a call. Ask for either Terry or Dave at 248-628-9658. Special thanks going out to our producer, director, the man that does it all, had a birthday as well, Kyle Snage, news writer extraordinaire, Allison Miller, station manager, oh, yep, there she is again, Terry Stiles, for everyone here at OCTV. I'm Jimmy, hoping you have a safe week, and I invite you back next time when, again, we will take a look at Oxford News this week.
Bye-bye.